What does it mean to be black? Like, it's the most ignorant shit someone can really say. You know what I mean? And people in our community are so afraid to leave that plantation because they don't feel like they're gonna be loved if they do anything outside of what's expected to be black. I'm here to tell you,
I give a fuck less about that anymore. how do you feel when you hear someone says to a black person they're not black enough? Well, immediately I would acknowledge that I think plantation mindset. Yep, I believe that you put black people into a box and that this is the only thing that black people can be, and it just highlights that person's ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not black because I do this. I'm black for simply being born. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what the fuck I do. I'm black. I can't get around it. Look at Tiger Woods. He tried that shit. You know what I mean? The fact that thinking that because, you know, he was half Asian or whatever, you know what I mean? You are still black. There's no getting around it. Once you put black in anything, you're black, nigga. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You mix black, you know, you mix black with white. You get the kid's gonna be mixed. It's gonna have some tint to him. You know, except for Logic. I mean, Logic do look like, you know, nigga, you just claiming to be black type thing. But in all seriousness, it's, to me, I pray for those individuals. I wish them well when they mention things like such, like to say that an individual is is not black because of they do a certain thing. Like to say that you're not black because you express yourself. You know what I mean? Is it a statistic? Is it common that we as black people are taught to not show certain emotions, especially as men? And even our women be tough and shit like that. You know, sometimes some of our women be too tough to even express them. They were taught that it's weak to show emotion type thing. But if no one knows how you feel, how in the hell can anyone know how to treat you? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real about shit. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not supposed to know how the fuck you feel. You have a voice, you have a mouth, and you got 2 ears. Obviously, you should be listening more than you're talking about. With that voice, that mouth that you have, you should be voicing how the fuck you feel so people can know how to deal with your ass. You know what I'm saying? But we get in these stigmas, you know what I'm saying? And these things in our communities where we feel like it's okay to shoot somebody down because they do something outside of like the norm, if you will. If they do something that's not expected of them, you know what I mean? Like, so what does it mean to be black? Does it mean that I don't I don't express myself? I don't work hard. I don't do anything for that matter. I'm just lazy. You know, I'm lazy. I eat chicken and watermelon. Or like, what does it mean to be black? Like, it's the most ignorant shit someone can really say. You know what I mean? And people in our community are so afraid to leave that plantation because they don't feel like they're gonna be loved if they do anything outside of what's expected to be black. I'm here to tell you, I can give a fuck less about that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to do what you want to do. And anybody that really, really fuck with you, if they claim to be black and they love you, will love you either way. It doesn't matter what the fuck you decide to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you wanna date outside your race, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna date the same gender, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, that there's a pride in being black, but
I'm not defined by what I do. You know what I'm saying? As far as being a black man, you know what I mean? Like if I listen to rock music, that does not make me less black than you. I look at that like again, that's plantation mindset. That's some shit. That's some nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Like designed to just doing exactly what the program wants you to do. It wants you to stay in this little ass box and never believe you can obtain anything outside of it. And it all stems in, you know, again, that the generational trauma from slavery. And we got to see past that shit, yo. Honestly, amongst ourselves, allow people, you know what I'm saying, that want to branch out, to better themselves. Encourage your people, yo. Like, why sit there and be like, and tell somebody they can't make it? Why not? What is stopping? There's nothing fucking stopping you. You know what I'm saying? There's of course there are people that's gonna say a lot of things, and you know that might try to get in your way, but that's just a test of how bad you want it. You know what I mean? Like some people, a lot of people are recognize your gift, recognize your power a lot more than you do sometimes. So they are afraid to be left at the plantation. You know what I'm saying? So they tend to want to scare you and have you afraid to leave and don't want you to do better. And I'm here to tell them to fuck off, because like it's about living the best life that you can while you're here. Because once you're gone, that's it. You know, you can't take none of this shit with you. You don't want to look back at your life and ask, why didn't I do more? You know what I'm saying? Damn, I wish I would have went skiing or some shit like that. Damn, I should have went camping. I should have went on a plane. Something as little as that, you know what I mean? Being able to go on a plane. Like, black people don't do that. Then what the fuck do black people do? Tell me. Tell me what black people do. Since I'm black, I've done these things, and you're telling me that I don't. You know what I'm saying? And or joining like various groups, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Various tribes and shit. And it's all right, man. Like, go out, branch out, see different things, do different things. Come back and have a story to tell. What good is it to live a life that you already know is going to happen every day? And living in a hamster wheel. What is that about? Why? Why would you want to do that? You know what I'm saying? Because, and honestly, I believe, this is just a theory. This is just my theory. It's fear. And doing the same things every day, you help conquer fear. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a comfort zone. But the thing is that in a comfort zone, there's no growth. So if us, as black peoples, are doing the same shit every year, doing the same thing every day, where the fuck is the growth? You see the programming. The programming is designed to keep you the same fucking way and stay like that. Staying in the same toxic ass relationships for the simple fact that you're black. It's the dumbest shit ever. Staying in a fucking toxic ass relationship on a simple fact, well, she black, I'm black, we need to be black together type thing. Listen, man, I'm all for black people being in relationships. I'm just not for toxic people being in relationship. If being with you drains the shit out of me, why am I here? Tell me. Tell me why I'm here. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're a black person dating a white person, you in a toxic ass relationship, you need to find your ass up out of there. Because this right here, your brain is not to be played with. Like, you can interpret things. Like, that's how powerful the brain is. You interpret things a certain way. I'm sure we've all had situations where we've assumed things. And literally, perception is reality. So when you start assuming things, you really believe that this is what this is until you had that conversation with an individual and be like, damn, that ain't even what I didn't even realize you was going through that. I didn't know what you meant. You see how quick you can change some shit? Take care of your fucking brain, yo. Like, learn how to better yourself by reading, learning how the brain actually operates so that you can master your life. Because if you master your mind, you will master your life. You'll make better decisions. You won't allow people to get to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll have emotional intelligence. You'll be able to laugh in the face of people that are come there to tear you down because you recognize that it has nothing to do with you. Nothing anyone does is about you. It's merely about the individual and what they're dealing with at the time, that pain that they have. They're so filled up with motherfucking pain, it has to spill over on you. You know what I'm saying? You can have people that don't even know you, but shit on you. You know what I'm saying? And then try to tell you that you're not black for it. You know what I'm saying? But you have no idea who I am. But you know it. You are the spokesperson. You are the gatekeeper for what it means to be black. That's you're full of shit. Is what that is. That's plantation mindset. That is exactly what the program has designed you to believe, and believe that that's what it means to be like. You know what I'm saying? You're not black enough. So what is black enough? Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about what it really means to be black enough. Black enough is what? I fight at a moment's notice. So you want me to act like a fucking animal? Does that make me black? Or you know what I'm saying? Again, treating my woman with disrespect. Does that make me black? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Black enough. You know, I mean, I don't really understand like an individual can have, and the reason why I'm bringing those things up is how can you have an individual be upset with you and say you're not black enough for expressing yourself, for telling someone that you love them or expressing an affection for them, and then once you express emotion, they tell you that you clearly ain't black. How ignorant does that sound, right? How many of us in the black community grew up in houses where we weren't sure how our family felt about us based off of the things that we did? But if we expressed ourselves, you know what I'm saying, we can still do the same jokes, but we won't have that anxiety like, damn, I wonder if my family really fuck with me. But if we talk about it, if we, express affection for one another, but instead of in front of caskets and in hospital beds, we do it on the daily just because we sitting in Arby's or sitting in McDonald's or fucking Chipotle or what else everybody, shit, whatever. Cookout, we in cookout drive through or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Just being able to tell your brother you love them while they still here. Literally, while they're still breathing, while they're still walking on this earth, tell them that you love them. Tell them that you appreciate them. Gratitude brings forth more blessings into your life. I'm sure a lot of people that are in communication with me be like, damn, always says I appreciate you and grateful and all that stuff, because the universe shit is fucking real. So when you show appreciation and gratitude towards things, more blessing, it attracts more blessings. That's how the universe feeds off of that. God, the universe, whatever you fucking believe in, that's how the subconscious mind works. It literally you just attract more and more blessings that way. But I definitely hope that we can get to a place in our lifetime where blacks don't feel threatened by other blacks because they live differently than them. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody fucks with anyone doing less than them. Only people they feel doing more. You know what I mean? And that's a crab in the barrel mindset. And we don't gotta be that way. That's really where I'm going with this. But as far as like how I feel about individuals that say that you're not black enough, fuck off. How can we as black people benefit from therapy? How much time do we have today? Let me tell you firsthand, we'll have better family gatherings. Everybody won't feel the need to be on the defense all the time. We'll be able to hang out. We'll be able to believe people when they say that they love us or they do something nice for us and shit. We'll see our own fuck ups, our issues. Like, we'll be able to look in the mirror and like be able to fix ourselves. We won't feel like the victim all the time. And you know what I'm saying? I just feel like we'll just be better people for it. It'd be better for our kids and shit, enabling them to heal, like to witness, you know what I'm saying, to see people that were meant to look after you behave like children. What does that do for you as that child? You know what I mean? And we're all guilty of it. We've dealt with things. We've had trauma happen. We haven't dealt with these things. We have our inner child that comes out when we're angry. Anger is nothing but the inner child. I believe that. I truly believe that anger is nothing but our inner child feeling like they weren't heard and loved, and that we need someone to pay attention to us. But if we're designed to not tell each other how we feel and stop you acting like a bitch and all that other stuff, then of course we feel like ain't nobody there for us, so we're gonna shut the fuck up. We're not gonna talk. Think about it. You know what I mean? And then we suppress shit. That's very volcanic. And then all it takes is one person to say the wrong shit at the family function, and then volcano. You know what I'm saying? Mount St. Romy is coming out, is what it is. And it shouldn't have to be, it doesn't have to be this way. You know, I was talking with my brother, Reggie, love you, man. And he was talking about like how when we come together, we talk about all the trauma that we gone through versus just experiencing the present moment, you know what I'm saying, with each other. And it's because a lot of shit is unresolved. Like, we're sitting here sweeping shit under the rug when we need to address these things without ego. I say that again. We need to address these things without ego, right? Because if we address it without ego, we get to hear how that person felt. And how that person feels ain't got shit to do with you. It's their perspective. That's everybody's the star in their own movie in this life. You know what I'm saying? It's how we see things. Like first person video game. You know, we can't see our face. All we see is our fucking hands. And that's what, you know, again, this is what happened to me. I'm not able to tell you about your life through your, you know, about your life through your perspective because it's your perspective. And then I got mine, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, she lying and shit like that. Maybe that's just how she saw it. Maybe that's just how he saw it. It's a perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's just a perspective. But we definitely need to take mental health in the black community more seriously. I don't know how many black men that feel like they're not able to express themselves and they gotta keep shit in all the fucking time. Otherwise, their women is not gonna respect them. Or all the mothers, like the black women, period. Fuck the mother shit. It's the black women in general that feel like they're not able to open up and share themselves, or they're going to be considered weak and somebody's going to take over them. Man, fuck that, man. That's where your strength is. Your strength is in your story. Like, fuck anybody that takes advantage of you for you sharing some shit like that. That's vulnerability. You know what I mean? And that's weakness on their part. Ain't got shit to do with you. But you definitely want to be mindful of the people that you do open up to, because some people are still healing and still in pain, you know what I'm saying? So I'll just say they're healing. We'll go with the glass half full on it. You know what I'm saying? People are healing, so there's a lot of things that they do that kind of leave you questioning loyalty, betrayal, trust, and all these things. You know what I'm saying? But you can't control them, but you can't control yourself. You can't control what the work you do on yourself, the work you do on your mind. When you realize that you owe yourself more than anyone else does, that right there, that's going to be the changing point for you in your life. There are a lot of people that have done you fucking wrong. There are a lot of people that are still doing you wrong, even right now as you watch this. You know what I'm saying? Somebody is out there fucking around, doing something to you. Somebody very, very close to you for that matter. You know what I mean? And there's nothing you can really do about that because they're going through their own struggle. I'm not trying to put that out there in your universe. But I'm just saying that realistically, people are human at the end of the day, and they have insecurities and they have things that they want to be validated for. So they do things to kind of validate themselves, which is sometimes be with somebody they're not supposed to be with, or do things that naturally harm themselves and all that stuff. And it don't have shit to do with you. But you can do the work on yourself. You can say, you know what? I got some issues. I do. I have some issues within myself. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about me. I can dress it up. I can try to act like I'm all super confident and all this stuff. But deep down inside, I'm dealing with some unresolved shit from my childhood. Like, why wasn't I worthy of this type of love and all this other shit? That's not you talking to present day, because you are love. I need you to understand present day you, and that's in your spiritual body. You are love. You have it in abundance for that matter. You are not without it. Now, we were conditioned and programmed to believe that we needed these individuals, our parents, guardians, whatever, older siblings, to believe that we need them to be loved. But we are indeed full of love right now. Like, real shit. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to do anything for love. That inner child will do whatever it takes to be, fulfilled. But you gotta love yourself. That's the kicker right there. You have to love yourself. Until you learn to do that, your relationships will falter. I kid you not. You know what I'm saying? So being asked like, why aren't you in a relationship? I am still working on how to love myself more than what I've done in previous times. Otherwise, I don't have anything to stand on. You need a foundation. And if the foundation is depending on love for others, you are going to fall every fucking time. You have to learn how to build, to love yourself first. We were not taught these things. I know for sure. Because the individuals that were supposed to teach me are still learning that lesson to this day. You know what I'm saying? And again, I wish them and everybody else that positive and healing energy that we need to be better people. But I know for sure that in the Black community, with everything that's gone on from slavery, generational trauma, relationships, childhood PTSD, current PTSD, things that we classify as the culture, all that shit, we have to heal from this so that we can have better relationships. I know, and deep down inside, you hate the fact that you cannot rely on this particular family member for this, or this particular friend for this, you know what I'm saying? But they're battling something bigger than what the fuck you know. You know what I mean? But we always go, I feel like, man, fuck that shit. I ain't fucking with them no more. Like that type of thing. And they're just as human as we are. They just, you gotta separate yourself. But if you think that you are you are flawless, you are sadly misguided. You know what I'm saying? Because we all fuck up. We all do. It ain't one motherfucker on this earth that is without sin, flaw, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that we need to work on. We need to be honest with ourselves and not judge others. You know what I mean? Like, we live in a glass community. Like, there's glass houses all over the place. This big ass community we live in, I live in a glass mansion. You can't tell me shit. I know I do fucked up shit. I have done fucked up shit. Trying to learn from it, to unlearn toxic behaviors that were kind of conditioned into my programming so that I could reprogram my mind and be a better person. You know what I'm saying? Recognize these things and all that stuff, But it takes work, and it's a constant thing. You're never going to be fully healed. You're never going to be fully, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not going to be fully healed. So, I encourage Black folk. I encourage Black folk to take mental health more seriously, because you don't want to get that call about that family member that decided to take their life and you never saw it coming. You know what I'm saying? That's a devastating thing. I don't wish that on anybody, but I know there's people that have actually witnessed this. People that have woken up to calls, phone calls, text messages that this individual decided to take their life, and then they leave notes saying they just felt alone. Like, we as a community, we got to do better. We got to do better. And I'm hoping that I'm doing my contribution in drawing light and awareness to these things, so that it makes people look at themselves and look at their families and all of that. But we definitely need to take it a little bit more seriously. We need to love our family members. We need to treat them with kindness. We need to remind them that we love them. We need to let them know how they're appreciated. Let them know how much gratitude we have for them and everybody else that we do meet. And that's all I gotta say on that. What realization has changed your life or your perspective over the past 5 years? That I am in this alone. And by that, I mean the decision to change. Now, because you can have people that are there for you physically, right there around you. But until you're ready to change, it don't mean a fucking thing. You can have people that constantly trying to give you game on stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like a parent that's trying to tell their kid, give them all the information that they didn't have, but if that child is not ready to accept that information, it doesn't mean anything. And you know, life was trying to tell me a lot of things about myself, and I just felt like I wasn't worth anything. Right, I wasn't worth any love. I wasn't worth any. I had no respect. I had no kind of respect for myself, right? And it showed. I just put myself in positions where I just was mistreated, misused, and I did this. I did this more than these individuals. I allowed myself to be misused. You know what I'm saying? I had no respect for myself. I had no self-love. You know, so I was willing to put up with just about anything from anyone. But what you'll find in life is that there's going to come a time where you're going to have to choose you. Truly. It's going to mean that of survival, live or die. And when you get to a point where you feel like you don't want to live anymore, you're going to have to make a goddamn decision. And I had to make that decision, you know. So it was enlightening, and I'm so grateful and thankful for everything that's happened. And I love the statement that says everything is for the good. It's like a Buddhist quote, right? And what it means by that is that everything that you are right now in this present moment helped you be where you are right now. Everything that you perceive to be bad or perceive to be good has made you where you are right now. And you got to look at yourself, and you feel like some of us are just digging another fucking hole, but it's just life. It's just decisions, you know? I mean, deciding what's a bad thought and a good thought is all decisions made by you. You know what I mean? And like, cause thoughts are just thoughts. And that's what's Sadhguru, I think it's spelled his fucking name right. It's the Indian cat with the big ass beard. But I like listening to like his speeches and lectures, and you know, he drops a hell of a lot of game, you know, and things that people just really don't think about. Like, I love that he put that people talk about the dead as if it's not going to happen to them, because we're not making it out of here alive. You know what I'm saying? We all have to surrender to the angel of death and accept it. And until we accept it, we will never live. We'll be sitting in fear, living in fear, like forever. But when I realized that I had to make the change in myself, my mentality, I was living scared. I was living in survival mode for the longest, you know, and I wasn't quite sure who was down for me, if you will. I wasn't even sure if I was down for me, for that matter. Like, I taught people how to treat me because I had no self-love. I did whatever. I was a people pleaser, and I agreed with people for the simple fact of being cool, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying, early on, like especially like in middle school. Because that was just out of survival, because I didn't know any fucking body. So I was trying to agree with stuff, especially like somebody that might like pop, like again with the, it's funny thinking about it, but like looking back at high school, not high school, but middle school, when Biggie got killed and Pac died, and I like saying like when Pac died, like, man, Biggie did that shit, man. Eric being around the Pac fans and then being around the Biggie fans saying other different shit, just, you know, just not solid whatsoever. And why is that? To fit in, because I think that's very common in our community. I won't say that's only in the black community, but I'm only speaking for mine. And what I mean by that is that we're so focused on looking cool instead of being cool. You know what I mean? Like actually doing the things that make us really fucking cool. You know what I'm saying? You'll have somebody that lives in poor living conditions come to school dressed in velour sets, and you know what I'm saying, got all the latest Jordans shining and all that shit. But you go to their house and their house look like all be damned. And it's like, why? Why do we feel like we have to do that? Because we just want to be heard and loved. We want to be accepted. That type of shit. And it's when you sit and you realize that material shit don't mean nothing, man. Like, what's important about life is spending time with those that you actually value and people that value you. That's another thing. I mean, because you may value somebody, but it doesn't mean that they value you. And it's very more important. I mean, a lot of people say they love you. It's very few people that actually value you. And because if a person doesn't love themselves, how the fuck can they love you? You know what I mean? You can feel that. You can see that, how they treat themselves. You know, you see people that go out of their way to be recognized and all that stuff. And they move on desperation. You know, they make desperate moves and all that stuff. But I would say that I saw myself at my worst, right? I'm talking about severe depression, where I sat in darkness. After I got out of work, I sat in darkness. Excuse me. I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing anything. I just felt like life was just happening to me. I wasn't happening to life. I had no control, and I just sat there and waited to die. But there was the silver lining that happens when you go to therapy, right? And my brother mentioned it. He mentioned about therapy, and I actually took it seriously. So I mean, me and my brother may have our differences, you know what I'm saying, just as much as any family does, but I'm forever grateful for him, like, for sharing that, that little nugget, man. You should go. Yeah, you should definitely think about therapy. You should get you, like a black therapist who can relate to you a little bit more and all this other stuff. And I took that, me not knowing much about therapy, I took that into consideration when I did. And I tell you, man, Dr. Bermudez, he really helped me see a lot in myself when from therapy, and just the fears that I was embodying inside me. I kept, believing that became my identity. Whatever they say we become what we think about. Earl Nightingale's quote, and it's the truth. As a man thinks, so shall he be. Whatever you want to call it. But I kept believing that I wasn't worth shit. So that's what life was showing me. But once I started, being more in the positive light and seeing myself in a major way, right? It changed everything. It changed everything. It changed how people carried themselves around me. It changed but the thing is, I could see myself in other people as I do today. There's no reason for me to get upset with anybody, because anything I'm upset about, I see that's something I don't like in myself. Like there's certain parts of them that we're mirrored. Everything around us is a mirror. The people in our lives are mirrors of parts of us that we either haven't addressed. And it really makes you think. And as you think, you try not to overthink and allowing yourself to take it easy on you. Like the way that you're careful with your friends when they go through shit, do that with yourself. And that's a tactic that you have to work at, as far as like being patient with yourself. And I've gotten better over the years, you know what I'm saying? Like when I make a mistake, I'll sit there and let my thoughts go through, because it'd be like, damn, man, I fucked up, because it's perfectionism, because I was led to believe that the only way that I could receive love is if I was perfect. Like I couldn't have a mistake, you know what I'm saying? That's what happens when you grow up in a family and, with family values of conditional love, you know what I'm saying? But we have to switch it to where we love our families unconditionally. That way people can stop trying to hide shit, stop lying, and they can tell you exactly how they fucking feel without fear that you're going to leave them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we learn how to do that shit, watch how different our conversations go. But when you feel like you're gonna be treated differently if I share this with you, I'm more inclined to tell you a lie. And then you look at relationships, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially, the relationships where you worry about your man lying and shit like that. He don't feel comfortable enough to share the truth because you pop off. You don't allow him to share his true feelings on shit. And switch it in reverse. Those men that are in relationships with women and they pop off at a moment's notice. So you got people feeling like they gotta tiptoe around you on eggshells and shit, and you ain't able to accept the truth. You sitting in that wonderful world of illusion. And everybody that are afraid to lose your love are tiptoeing. They're not telling you the truth. They're allowing you to live in your illusion and shit like that. We gotta switch it. And I'm just thankful that I recognize all of that. I said all that to say I recognize all of that to see the change needed. The only that I'm alone, and change can only be done by you. This is your life. This is nobody else can live it for you. You can have all the support in the world, and yes, it can be helpful, but I promise you, you may not always have everything you want, but you'll have everything that you need. It's just how God and the universe works. So you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. So thankful for the change, thankful that I was able to recognize that nobody's coming to save you. I'll say that again. Nobody is coming to save you. So take that as a lesson, work on change, work on yourself, and see what happens.